black chip Skylark,
yeah,
bro.
Come on, yeah.
So I was thinking after watching my first video, I'm like, what could I do next? And I had a couple things in mind. I wanted to talk a lot more in depth about the idea of like, I don't know, a brand and how to maneuver on social media and best takes to usually get a response from like another producer, artist. So what I decided for y'all is I'm gonna show you email chains, a little bit of lawyer discussion, and producer agreements for maybe 2 or 3 records where it went really well. They dropped it without clearing it with us and then they were being difficult, and it went average, which is the song's already out. We reached out to them. They're willing to, of course, clear the record with us, but they're being very slow and it's taking forever to get a fully executed agreement. And we haven't got paid yet, and the song's been out for 4, 5, or 6 months. It is crazy. In those, I want to talk about mistakes I made early on, mistakes I even make today, burning bridges for the sake of getting business done. Do you really want to build a relationship with somebody who's trying to screw you? How do you identify as somebody is trying to screw you? Business, unfortunately, has to get done, and it has to sometimes get ugly, but that's great because then it further allows you to create important music and do the things that you love. It's about understanding what kind of deals are normal, and most importantly, understanding that just because you were offered a deal for a producer agreement doesn't mean you need to take that deal. I'm looking forward to diving into these email chains, showing you guys producer agreements, things you should kind of expect, how to expedite your payment, and where to find a good lawyer, how you should be corresponding with your lawyer. All right, let's get it.
All right, so I got 2 screens open right now. One, I'm showing a producer agreement. I'm gonna make sure nobody's names, whatever, is in this agreement, but I'm gonna show you guys the key points of this agreement. I'm gonna stay away from a lot of the legal jargon. I'm not a lawyer, and to be honest with you, I don't know what half of that shit means. This is usually what the first page of a producer agreement looks like. It'll have just the contracting party, which is like the artist themselves or their label or whatever. Then it'll have me and whoever other producers listed on it. What I want to highlight right now is usually somewhere on the first page you can find an advance or royalty section. Artist shall pay or shall cause the distributor to pay a recoupable advance of $5,000 to the producer. So notice it says recoupable. So that means that, yeah, I was given $5,000, but that my master points need to help recoup the $5,000 before I start seeing money on the master side. This is typically what you would need to recoup that advance, assuming you make around $75 per million and have about 1.5% of the master. So for example, let's say that this said artist shall pay non-recoupable advance. That would mean I get $5 grand, and from day 1 of the record, I'm now making money on the master royalty side. And then you have typical like producer will not sample or interpolate any other works. That just is so that the label or artist doesn't get sued because you ended up secretly sampling some shit that they didn't know about. Then you have, and I gotta blur it out, the name of the song, the songwriters who have X amount of publishing on the song, and then the producer royalty usually, as well as the credit. And to be honest with you, everything else, like I said, I'm not a lawyer, nor do I pretend to know all of these things. But what you want to pay attention to ultimately is making sure that the advance is proper, making sure that your publishing is right, and that your master royalty is correct. Personally, this was a really easy deal. It was a $10,000 fee that I negotiated. They said, hey, we'll give you $5,000. I said, absolutely not. That's not my first rodeo. We need $10,000. We'll cut it down the middle. If I would have stuck at $5,000, there's a good chance that we could have gotten it to be a half recoupable fee or a non-recoupable fee. But sometimes I'd rather just take the money and run because maybe the song will never recoup in the first place, so I'd rather just get paid and kind of go about my day. So next, I'm gonna find a record where the song came out, nobody let us know about the song, and then when we reached out, very respectfully mind you, they thought that we were playing around and that we weren't gonna take down shit, yada yada. So initially we reach out to one of the co-producers. We say, hey, so-and-so, hope you're well. We see the record you produced for blank is going crazy and so-and-so using our loop. We need to properly license our production and credit to split my producers on it. we can avoid making a claim against their YouTube channel. They respond and say, hello, I am only part of this track. I produced the part between so-and-so to so-and-so, so I don't know which loop or part you were talking about, and I also have nothing to do with the other two producers. I would recommend to contact the label/manager for so-and-so. We get in contact with the manager and they say, I bought the sample that was used for the first 60 seconds of the song. I bought it through Drumify. The manager of so-and-so forwarded me your email address. Is there a problem? Because I bought it legally through the website. Now he's talking about Drumify, and one of the biggest things about Drumify, which I own, we do not do royalty-free loops. There is no point as a producer to provide royalty-free loops. Do not do that. We want to empower creatives. We don't want to strip away their publishing. It's like their retirement. It's like our 401k. Why would you strip away your royalties? You sell a pack, it's royalty free, and it ends up on Drake's album, you're gonna be fucking sick to your stomach. So don't do that shit, stop doing it. So anyways, they buy it, which we appreciate. However, just because you bought it does not mean you can now release music without contacting us about it. We say, loops purchased on Drumify still need to be licensed for commercial use, which is stated on our terms of service. It's not a problem. We don't mean to alarm you. We just need to license our share, which we're more than willing to work with you guys to sort out. This includes both a split of master and a split of publishing. Can you please loop us directly with the person who owns the master, whether it's the label or the artist that is authorized to sort this? Once again, this is a chain where we came very respectfully. We just wanted to figure it out. We understand sometimes music comes out and other producers don't communicate that, hey, I use this loop. That's cool, that's fine. Then they offered us a buyout. They wanted to just basically say like, hey, here's $5,000. Just leave us alone. You're not gonna get any royalties, equity. And I think for some people, they might be like, hell yeah, let's do it. That's dumb. Don't do it. Unless they were talking about like, hey, here's $50,000 to buy out, whatever. All right, cool, whatever. Because that might be worth it. Publishing is a pennies game to begin with, and master royalties is tough unless you own a significant portion of it. Long story short, we come back to them when we say like, hey, we know there's 6 producers on this record. Our loop makes up the majority of this record. Give us 15% out of the 50%. It's basically a third, right? They, of course, don't agree. We say, hey, we don't care. You've already put the music out, and if you don't sort this out with us now, we're just gonna copyright. The song is gonna be removed from all platforms. We say one more time, hey guys, last warning, basically. We just wanna get this sorted. They don't respond. And the next day, they wake up and their song's been taken down. They wired us $7,500 within 24 hours, so taking it down. Then we have one more. This is one where everything went so smoothly, and they reached out to us months before the record was coming out. They got all of our information, right? The BMI, PRO bullshit, producer credits, how many producers are on the record, what is the fee that we want, you know, things like that. We negotiated it all, and quite literally, they sent us a producer agreement. We reviewed it, sent back whatever notes. They sent back the fixed version. We signed off. They signed off. Everything was done within like probably 5 days. And I know that sounds long, but in the music industry, that's really quick. It might have been even shorter than that. I don't really know. And to top it off, we were paid before the record came out, like a week, which that's crazy too. Shout out this girl. She works for the publisher. She's the best. She's really on top of her shit. I find that most women in the music industry that work at publishers are so quick, so organized, so on it, whereas a lot of times with other people it just feels so slow. Nobody really cares. It's so mundane. And listen, I understand, right? The idea that I'm gonna show you a couple of email chains with very little nuance and some producer agreements and suddenly it makes all the sense in the world to you. I'm just trying to show you a little bit more what it looks like so that you have something to pull from, right? That's what I hate about the music industry is there's not a whole lot of places you can look to be like, oh, I got a producer agreement. Oh, let me go look at what bro talked about that one time so that I can figure out what I should be asking for. Everything is so particular and specific, and it just creates a lot of uncertainty. And there are a lot of managers and just artist teams and whatever where their job is to get the record cleared for the least amount of money. And so when a song is presented to you and they say, hey, this is our budget, that doesn't matter. If you have a fee, right, our floor fee is $5,000. That means that the fucking minimum that we will take is $5,000. That's not really a lot. I know for some people they're gonna think like, damn, $5K, that's crazy. Sure, but we have cleared hundreds of records, right? We're more so in the $10,000, $15,000 range. When an artist is like, hey, you know, our budget's only $2,500, that's where you can get creative and go, okay, well, you know, give us $2,500, but we want a half recoupable fee, or we want a non-recoupable fee, or bump it up to 4K and pay our legal fee, right? There's all kinds of ways that you can get creative in a deal, which ultimately will make you more money down the line. And it's about knowing all these little tips and tricks so that when you're in these email chains, you know what to do, or your people know what to do. The best thing about all this is, like, for the producers on SplitMind, I pretty much keep them out of all this stuff. Of course, they always know what's going on, but it's just better when you allow your team to handle all the business bullshit so that you don't have to, like, get in it. That's really it. I wanted to keep this video short because I could go and talk about this shit for 2 hours. It's just too much.